Let it sink in that this is the last thing that Akira Toriyama worked on before he passed away. This honestly makes me incredibly emotional to look at because Akira Toriyama gave us quite a lot of gifts, honestly. Not just the fact that he gave us Dragon Ball Daima and everything else prior to that, but he canonized two things that fans of Dragon Ball have desperately been begging for decades. Many people have begged for Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and at long last we got to see that rather recently. And then we fast forward to today with this reveal, we got Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And obviously, a lot of people have been begging for this to be canonized for a long time, because when Dragon Ball GT came out, Super Saiyan 4 was not canon anymore. Obviously, with the, revelation and the writing of Dragon Ball Super, GT no longer existed. Super Saiyan 4 no longer had a place within the timeline. It wasn't real anymore, so to speak. But it was obviously a very big fan favorite form that the Dragon Ball community has loved for a very long time. It was so beloved because of not just the awesome looking form from the original GT, but also because at the end of Dragon Ball GT, we had the fusion of Goku and Vegeta that created Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. It was a very incredible moment, and I think thanks to a lot of the fans loving Super Saiyan 4, but also Gogeta as well, is why in modern day we have seen Gogeta become canonized. Why he got, brought into the actual main canon of Dragon Ball. And then that's not even getting into the can of worms that is Broly. What I'm trying to say is that Akira Toriyama, before his passing, if there is one thing you can really say about this whole situation, he loved his fans, he loved his work, he loved what he has done over the years, and he wanted to give what his fans wanted. People will be quick to look at this situation today of Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and all that type of stuff and chop it up to fan service. Unnecessary fan service or an unwarranted power-up or, bad writing or different things like that. And at the end of the day, Dragon Ball is just about having fun and enjoying yourself. That really is the main core essence of it. Akira Toriyama was always about that, just wanting to really have fun with his work. And I think in general, this moment here with Super Saiyan 4 is more of a nod to the fan base that has been begging for this to be canonized for a very long time and wanted to give, those that are GT fans what they wanted. And let's get into that one. It's been very apparent for a while now, especially with this episode alone, that Dragon Ball Daima is basically Dragon Ball GT, but with Akira Toriyama's style, with his flavor of writing and how he would potentially do things. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I love it. Because, there's nothing wrong with him basically wanting to redo GT in his own way. Let's think about the Broly stuff. He redid all of Broly and made it into a core movie for Dragon Ball Super, and, obviously people love that film. And I love how GT has been kind of tackled in a different way, getting to see, the miniature versions of Goku, Piccolo, and all of them, and then getting to see, Super Saiyan 4 once again, and Super Saiyan 3. It's just some nice little nods here and there. I especially love Purunga at the end of the episode, getting to see an actual red version of Purunga. I don't know how many people caught this, but obviously this is another nod to, the Shenron we got at the beginning of GT with the Black Star Dragon Balls. This is 100% a nod to that. I really appreciate just what Akira has crafted with Daima. Is it perfect? No, but it's fun, and you can feel the passion and love that Akira poured into this. When he was writing this and all that, he really was just thinking about the diehard fans. He was thinking about the fans of the original Dragon Ball GT, and wanting to offer them something that they have been craving for a very long time. Now, there is something that does need to be talked about, the elephant in the room. Goku gets Super Saiyan 4 in this episode, but he is not able to defeat Goma in this episode. He doesn't bring him down at all. He actually de-transforms at the end of the episode. So it's implied that not even Super Saiyan 4 is enough to be able to bring this man down. And so what this episode more or less implies, which has already kind of been set up for a while now, it implies that fusion is going to be the next big step. There's been a lot of foreshadowing to that with Dragon Ball Daima. But I think thanks to just the revelation of this episode with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, to what happened with Vegeta with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, it's looking very likely we're going to get to see a Super Saiyan 4 version of Gogeta canonized. Now, there is a possibility it could be a completely entirely different fusion. I mean, the fusion technique that's going to be used to have them fuse is going to be different. That's been foreshadowed. So it might not be Gogeta, it might not be Vegito, it can be an entirely new entity. And I'm curious on what kind of name they would call it. I believe one of the names that fans in the community have named for a very long time is Veku. I could be wrong there, but I believe that is a name that people have called a different fusion of Goku and Vegeta. So maybe that's a possibility. What I will say, though, is I really do like the foreshadowing here, because it's looking like we're going to need a fusion to bring him down. Which means, in general, we're probably going to get to see Vegeta go Super Saiyan 4, and then we're going to get to see a Super Saiyan 4 fusion of Goku and Vegeta. That is canonized. Which, that is so crazy to me to think about. A canonized version of it that is no longer just, like, in spin-offs or games and stuff. We actually have a canonized actual version of this transformation that can now appear in Dragon Ball Super. That is something that really needs to be taken away from this, is that Super Saiyan 4 can appear now in Super. Like, going forward within the canon, we could see this appear. Maybe slightly different, but it can. And I'm curious to see how it's incorporated, especially where its power scaling currently is. I mean, looking at the situation where the current timeline is, obviously Goma is very powerful. I think anyone can agree that he's probably way beyond Boo. Way beyond Boo. Is he beyond Super Boo? Probably. But that's debatable. You can debate it. All I will say is that Super Saiyan 4 obviously is a lot stronger than Super Saiyan 3. And as we know from the own writing from Akira Toriyama, Super Saiyan 3 could have taken down Kid Buu. So we can only assume Super Saiyan 4 would easily demolish Kid Buu. So that basically means that if Goma is able to fight back against Super Saiyan 4, he's stronger than Kid Buu. So he's very powerful. And the scaling of this, I don't know necessarily if it's on the level of maybe Super Saiyan Blue. I don't know if it would be. So that is a thing to really factor into all this. But I do think that in general, maybe Super Saiyan 4 will have a place later on, maybe with Broly. Because we have seen some of the stuff with Broly, maybe this will be very relevant to him to canonize Super Saiyan 4 Broly. That is like a spin-off thing, so that would be kind of interesting if that happened. But let's get into a few things I want to discuss. One thing in particular that I really like about this episode in general is how it gives a lot of clarity to, or not just this episode actually, last episode as well, it gives a lot of clarity to just how screwed over Dabura was in Dragon Ball Z. Like, it is unreal just what Babidi did to that man. Like, think about this for a second, okay? Goma, obviously, prior to getting the eye and all that, he wasn't really that strong. Like, he's strong, and you know the point. Dabura obviously outclassed him in every single way. And the fact that the eye was able to just, like, ramp him up to this degree, it's only common sense in terms of just scaling that if Dabura actually had the eye on him at the time, he would have easily have obliterated Fat Buu. He would have destroyed him. And that's crazy. That is just the context of what Daima has done for Dabura. It honestly makes me look at his character as a straight-up tragedy. It's honestly tragic because Dabura, the more I see or hear about him and the different lore that comes out from Dragon Ball Daima, the more I'm like, holy crap, what a character. Like, it kind of makes you wish we could have Dabura back. I mean, because, like, there's just so much more that we have learned about him and his strength level, what he could have done. There was just so much the story could have explored. And obviously, Daima has tried to explore the Demon Realm a lot, which I thank it for that. I'm very thankful for Akira Toriyama diving into this element, this very unknown section of Dragon Ball lore, at least in the canon. So, I appreciate that. But I'm just like, man, when you see Goma and how powerful he is, imagine what Dabura could have been capable of. I mean, it was established when he didn't even have the eye that he was perfect cell level. Okay, straight up, like, super perfect cell level that Gohan defeated. And the fact that he was that level without even his full multiplier with like the eye and everything, imagine how strong he would be. Like, holy crap. It really makes you wonder, how did Bobbity get this man? Like, it really makes you wonder, like, Bobbity lucked out. Like, he really lucked out getting Deborah. And also at the same time, he kind of messed up too. Man, Bobbity really had one of the greatest wins. When you really think about everything in context, he had one of the biggest W's getting a hold of Deborah. Especially with the context with everything we got with Daima. But yeah, anyways, this episode is really good. I love the red Purunga. I cannot get enough of it. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about this scene. Purunga flicks away Goma. That's awesome. Like, what has been established for a very long time is that, like, the dragons are as strong as their creators, and the fact that Purunga was just like, just knocked him, I was like, yo, what? Like, yo, what? But it doesn't just stop there. It's also the fact that, you know, we've seen how strong Goma is. And the fact that Purunga just flicks him, yo. That man's, he's buff. He is strong. He is a very strong man. Dragon, correction. Very strong dragon. So, what I will say is that, I love Purunga's new version of him, so to speak, this red version of him. It's so good, man. I don't know. I've been really enjoying Daima, and these last few episodes have been very incredible. I'm glad to see that a lot of people's overall opinions of Daima is starting to change a little bit, and people are starting to agree that Daima is very good, and it's already showing to be leagues better than GT. And don't get me wrong, GT has a lot of good moments as well. There's a lot of stuff I love from it, but I do like the interpretation that Daima does for GT. But, yeah, anyways, I'll leave it at that. I want to talk about it because it was a historic day. Super Saiyan 4 Goku canon. Crazy, man. Anyways, be safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Stay winning. And, I guess one last thing to really plug, if you want to support the cause with the lawsuit that I've, now initiated thanks to, like, crazy individuals, please send support to my lawsuit. I'll have this linked in the description as well. We have actually already donated, or people have already donated 11,000, and I'm going to have to make a separate video just discussing this and going over, like, the donations and stuff people have done. No words I say can really describe just the feeling of, like, community I get from this. But for now, though, thank you so much for all the support. I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.